into during the Eastern session, and the London market open, gave us some pullback, and New York session price fully, filled that price level, and that was when this news was, being released around 1:30 p.m. GMT plus one. So the news came out, and this was like what we had. We had a very strong, drop in price, and this went straight into take profit. We're just few pips away from the structural low. However, you can see how, the hello traders, Emmanuel right here. Welcome to EME Forex YouTube channel. In today's video, we want to talk about trading high impact news and how you could go about making the most out of events like the CPI, unemployment change, and we're going to be looking at a few trades that was shared with the community for the past few days, and we're going to share key insights around these trades. If you're new to the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications so that you'll be informed when we drop new videos, and make sure you like and share our content as well. Let's get on to the video. All right, so the first news we took for the past few weeks was card news, and this was specifically the employment change news, as you can see on the screen, and the unemployment rate. So these are the two major news release that was dropped, and that was the 10th of May. And let's take a look at the components of the news. This is what we're having, the figures here, and let's go deeper into all of this detail. So for the unemployment change, if you look at this closely, here we had the previous months to be minus 2.2k. The forecast was 20k. We're forecasting 20k, as the new number of people who are employed during the previous month. But however, the news came out to be 90k. That's it came out very, very stronger than forecasted or expected. Now, if you look at this side of your screen here it shows or tells us what this particular news measures, which is like the change in the number of employed people during the previous month. And here it gives us a major insight that the actual greater than the forecast is good for currency. Okay, and it's released about 8 days after the month ends, and so on. So now with this in mind here, this is where I'll now move over to the technical side of what we have in the chart. Want to see how they align with what we've seen here on the fundamental side. So if we move over to our chart work now, if you look at what we have on trading view, this was card the way it was lined up before the news release. All right, so we're going to use like the replay toolbar to take price back to where it was before the news announcement. So this is like the hourly chart. However, let's take a look at the daily, how price was looking like before the news was dropped. So my markup on my chart was like this as of then. I marked out my key levels. This is like the major recent structural high. This is like the structural low, and this here, as you can see, this is like a midpoint where has been holding price up for quite some time now. So now we've identified the structural high, the structural low, and where price is currently trading around. Now by the time we go down to the hourly chart on our 4-hour, the 4-hour structure is also there, which we can see that is aligning with what we've seen on the daily. The 4-hour structure, we're having this level here as where has been holding price up for a bit, and you can see that we dropped aggressively from this high, we pulled back, we dropped again, and this was like the pullback, and this second pullback was pointing towards the downside that will be trading towards this structural low. Remember, these levels are levels we've identified on the higher time frame. Now we want to position ourselves to go with what the higher time frame is suggesting. So when we drop down to our lower time frame, like our hourly chart here, for me, I was personally waiting for price to pull back to these highs here. This high is like the Asian high that price tapped into during the Eastern session, and the London market open gave us some pullback, and New York session price fully filled that price level, and that was when this news was being released around 1:30 p.m. GMT plus one. So the news came out, and this was like what we had. we had a very strong, drop in price, and this went straight into take profit. We're just few pips away from the structural low. However, you can see how the price action was aligning with what we have from the fundamental side of things, and this was about 52 pips on this particular trade. And on the screen you also see the entry and price execution as well. So moving on from this here, following after that event, we also had gold as one of the trade setups we traded recently. This news event was also one of those things that we're looking at to push price into our targeted area that it should trade into our favor. And also this was like a high impact news that was coming out during that time of the week. So if we look at this from Forex Factory here, we have this news release as PPI. So PPI was more like your gross domestic kind of metric that helps to check what the exports activity around any certain economy, and we're looking at the USD, and again that was 1:30 p.m. GMT +1. So if you look at this here to the right hand, as we did previously, we have where you can look at more information on what we have for that particular news event. So for the core PPI, we've opened our data folder here. If you look at this, it says actual greater than forecast is good for currency. Now we're looking at dollar. In this case scenario, we're looking at dollar, right? So the previous month we had -1, and we're forecasting 0.2% change. However, it came out to be 0.5%. okay, this was the figure that came out. However, if we look at what we have on the price charts here, gold has been ranging for some time. If you look at this, gold has been ranging in the market, and this particular price build up here where we tapped into this Asian high, similar concept we used for the previous USD card was what we also deployed here. Price tapped into this level, and you can see how sharp we had this drop in price before we started retracing all the way up. Now the dollar gained some significant strength, and hence Euro USD traded to the upside. However, we're already looking to take some shots on this trade, gunning for about 74 pips here on gold, and we had that as our target, and price filled that point, and the high impact news came in and drive prices higher. So that's what we took on gold. Also, this trade was also called out on the community. We shared this with the community. Then next up was Euro USD. This is like the big one. Euro USD, we had CPI as the major driver here. CPI was dropped Wednesday 15th of May, and we're looking at core CPI. We also had USD CPI retail, and also the CPI M/M and CPI Y/I. That's the monthly and yearly as well. So the CPI news was news event that most traders anticipate when it comes to the trading space, and we're looking at Euro USD as our major focus. This was the entry on Euro USD, and this was where we exited the trade for Euro USD. Now looking at this now, if we replay price back to where it was, we're having the build up like this on Euro USD, and we're simply eyeballing around 40 pip move for Euro USD, and our stops is just about this level here. That's about 15 pip or thereabout. So risk to reward was 2.64. That's our risk to reward ratio here. And if we go back to what we have on Forex Factory, right, we are having the CPI print for that particular day as this here. We're having the previous as 0.4, was forecasting 0.3, and we did get the actual forecast, which was 0.3. However, this was bearish on the dollar, and the previous for the next data points here was 0.9, forecast was 0.2. That's a decline versus the previous data, and actually came out to be same as what was forecasted. So if you look at this at the end of the day here, the data points here was suggesting a bearish dollar, and this was also in line with what we're looking at for the technical side of things. So if we go back to trading view here and we look at what happened here, because of the data and the build up on this Euro USD, we had price, impulsively trading to the upside, and we do feel that target points, we hit our targets. However, if we take a look at what DXY was looking like, DXY was quite bearish for the week, and this was what DXY was looking like as of the time for CPI. We're trading around this level, and DXY dropped massively. So hence our trade on Euro USD playing out nicely. Now the next thing on the list which we traded was also NAS 100 USD. We traded indices, and indices for the most part gave us most of the profits which we took for the week. Indices was one of those pairs that moves very fast, and they are very very impulsive when the momentum kicks in. So CPI day, we also had NDX USD trading around this level. If we look at this from the high time frame, the high time frame was suggesting a bullish movement on NDX. We've been having a choppy price action. If you look to the left, this has been like a major structural level to the left hand side here. When we drop down to like our hourly charts here, we'll get to see that price has slowly broken out from this region, retested this level, and we are trading right above, and this has given us more insight that okay, we're going to be seeing new highs on NDX USD. So looking at this now, because the counter currency here is USD and we're looking at weakness on the dollar, this gave us that volume to trade to the upside, which the news came out, and we impulsively traded to the upside, and price even went ahead to trade way above the target. However, we're more than okay with what we got here. We got about 124 pip on NDX USD. So that's the trade recap for the high impact news that we traded this week so far on Euro USD, USD CAD, and also gold as well, and lastly NDX. So yeah, that's the trade recap on USD CAD, gold, Euro USD, and NDX USD. Although most of these trades are high probability setups, and USD CAD was not shared with the community, however the rest of the trade setup was shared and it's on our Telegram. So to join our Telegram community, the link will be in the video description, so that you'll be part of our winning trades and also learn from what we do. So for CPI, we actually had a live session before CPI. During the live session, I made mention of my bias on the dollar index. We also ran a poll for the community to share their own opinion. What are they looking at for USD? Is it going to be bullish, bearish, stuff like that? And we went ahead to have a live session afterwards. So if you find this video educational and helpful, make sure you like the content, share with your friends, and we'll see you on the next one.